It's Sunday afternoon, it's tea time because you can see the sun's just setting. It's 5:30 in fact, and I'm hanging out with the Nissan Almera gang, and they're having a meet way outside the city. I'm right in the outskirts on the other side of the river in Nonthaburi, and we're in a bit of a nondescript car park. There's an old derelict building here. This car park doesn't look like it gets much use, but it's pretty cool because there's maybe 20 so far Almeras have turned up. And the Almera gang, what they call themselves, they're really passionate about these cars. These Nissan Almeras you see at every car event. If you go to Japanese car events, JDM, Nissan days, all types of cars, always this core of people here. They're a real set of owners who love their cars. They modify their cars, they customize them, they stance them, they tune them. Everything is done, and they're really passionate. They're out weekend after weekend. So this weekend I've come to see what they're about. They're a cool bunch of guys and they love their cars. It's Sunday afternoon, so what better than come and check these out. There's a few other cars turned up as well. There's some Skylines 350Z, so there's a few interesting things as well added into the mix. But really it's all about these Almeras, and they are really done up. They have done a fantastic job with these little cars. Talk about more about the Almera in a little bit, but yeah, now I'm going to go and have a look around them.
สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับ
กลุ่มอเมร่าแก๊งครับผมจิมครับ
ผมเบียร์ครับ
กลุ่มเราก่อตั้งมาประมาณ5ปีแล้วครับสมาชิกใน Facebook ก็ประมาณ 4,000 กว่าคน 6,600 คนแล้วก็ส่วนใหญ่ก็ที่หลักๆก็จะมีประมาณ40 กว่าคน50 คนเนี่ยครับส่วนใหญ่จะมามีตติ้งก็ที่นี่ซอยรัตนาธิเบศ22มาส่วนใหญ่จะมาคุยเรื่องรถปรึกษาเรื่องนู่นนี่นั่นเกี่ยวกับรถแล้วก็พูดคุยกันตามปกติอะครับ
ฝากกลุ่มด้วยนะครับ
ขอฝากกลุ่มอเมร่าแก๊งไว้ด้วยนะครับขอบคุณครับ
You can see the row of Almeras on my right with a nice silver skyline bookending it. That's a pretty nice way of sandwiching the end of the row, it's got to be said. And there's a few nice other cars here today, but just I'm focusing on the Almeras. So the Almera is like kind of a bit of a curious choice, and there's a bit of a story behind it and a big connection to Thailand. Where the Thai government basically have focused on different cars over the years to support their car industry, and Thailand's got a fantastic car industry. It's about the 10th biggest producer in the world. About half of it's for domestic consumption, about half of it's for export. And first what it likes to call a product champion was the pickups. It focused on building pickups. It gave incentives for manufacturers to come in and build them, and that was really successful. So like about 15 years ago they were looking for another one, and they decided on an eco car, small, frugal 1.2 litre engine cars that would have good fuel consumption. They saw that as the future, so they gave big incentive to manufacturers. So they get tax breaks, they get reduced duties on bringing machinery in. That you had to build a minimum number of cars, I think about 150,000, but you got a lot of tax breaks, and all the manufacturers piled onto that, and it was very successful. They're actually now trying a third product champion, which is electric cars, and they've been pushing that for the last 3 or 4 years, trying to get OEMs involved and build electric cars. But with Nissan, they were first out of the blocks with the eco car back in about 2010 with the March, and that was really successful. That came onto the market. It was kind of cute, it was kind of unique. Thailand hadn't really had many of the March/Almera versions here, so it was fairly new, and it sold really well. There was a really good tax price on these eco cars, so they were aimed at first time buyers, getting students, getting young people, getting people who hadn't driven cars onto the car ladder. And the March was really successful, and it became really popular. And then, as they do here, everyone was customizing them, tuning them, souping them up, making them look cool. And all the other manufacturers got involved. Toyota got involved, Suzuki with its Swift, that was really popular. But really the March kicked it off. Then Nissan were quick out of the blocks to put a sedan version to match the hatchback, and they came out with the Almera, which is basically a sedan version of the March, although they look totally different. But it's a pretty nondescript car. It's a 1.2, come with manual or automatic transmission, very basic, very cheap, get people into cars. And the Almera is not your go-to for car guys, really. It's a pretty basic car, it's not that pretty, but it started to get a core following. People really liked it. People started to love the car. They started to customize them, started to tune them, started to wrap them up, put big body kits on it, you know, scissor doors you can see here today, sound systems, Recaro seats, everything like that. They started to really get into them, and then as one or two clubs have formed for these owners to get together, and really the cars are transformed. The normal Nissan Almera, like I said, is pretty nondescript, it's pretty plain, but these guys, they wrap their cars, they put wings on the back, they decorate them, and they look pretty cool. And as I said earlier on in my introduction, these guys are really passionate. They're out weekend after weekend, they get together, they go to all the car shows, so people recognize and connect with the cars. And today they're having a meet, a couple of the groups getting together and they're having a meet. So this car was introduced about 2011. Nissan introduced the next generation Almera a good year or so ago, so it had probably an 8-9 year run. They built a lot of them. It was a popular seller. It didn't set the world alight, but it steadily sold, and there's a lot of them about. And a lot of these guys now, they've got their Almeras and they really love them. They really want to get into them. They really want to soup them up and customize them and hang out together with other people who feel the same. And that's one of the cool things about Thailand, really. Every genre of car, every make, every model has a real passionate following, and the people in these groups, they really want to interpret the cars the way they see them, make an artwork, make something that's personal to them. And the humble Almera is no different, and these guys have done a fantastic job. These cars look really cool. Some of these cars, a lot of money has been spent on them. They've got air suspension, they're stanced, scissor doors, they've got trimmed out interiors, racing seats, gauges everywhere, tuned engines. So a lot of work has gone in, a lot of customization, a lot of polishing them up, making them look cool. So it's pretty cool, and I like that. I really like that. Just you name a car model here and there's going to be a group like this. They love them, they go to town on them. These two Almeras here really sum it up what these guys are all about. You can see they're absolutely slammed down. The wheel is digging into the wheel arch. They got air suspension, they've got big alloy wheels on them, steel wheels on this side, alloys on this side. They're stanced. The owners have spent a lot of money on them. The owners love these cars. these are not the A to B family car for first time buyers, what Nissan were looking for with the Almera. This is another category of people. These are people who just absolutely love these cars, lash the money on them, real passion for them. This is the perfect bookend to my video. On my left, your right, you can see this Almera. It's been modified like anything. You see this big wing, all the kit, engine modifications, wrapped, trimmed out, absolutely everything. That's absolutely symptomatic exactly where this club are. And on my right, your left, you can see a new generation Almera. This is the only one here. It's been out about a year. But already under the bonnet, this car's got pipes and shiny bits. It's got modifications, it's got trims on it. So over the next few years, this club, you can imagine they're all going to be slowly moving from this Almera to that Almera.